I wrote Rich Dad, Poor Dad, and I was thinking, I said, who else is doing the same kind of work I'm doing? In other words, you and I are not alone, right? So who else can I support? So you're supporting me, I'll support you. And I was very much against network marketing, the pyramid scheme, all the things they say about it. So my friend told me to shape up and shut my mouth and go check them out. So when I checked out network marketing, I said, oh my God, they're doing what my rich dad told me to do, is learn how to sell. And you see, the hardest thing in life, Vlad, is rejection. How do you handle when somebody rejects you? So I went to an Amway meeting and I sat there going, oh my God, they're teaching people what Xerox was teaching me. How do you handle rejection? How do you keep your cool? How do you keep pitching? So in my little book, Rich Dad, Poor Dad, I put an asset is a network marketing. It's assets, liabilities. I said, you build a network marketing business, it's an asset. So when I published Rich Dad, Poor Dad, nobody would buy the damn book. And so I put it in my friend's car wash in Austin, Texas. And guess who bought the first book? An Amway distributor. and he was an orthopedic surgeon, and he's still a good friend of mine. And he bought the book and he says, oh my God, he read the book and he sent it up to his upline in Dallas. He bought it in Austin, he sent it to Dallas. And the diamond in Dallas called me up and he says, pretty good book you got there. And he says, would you mind speaking to my group? So again, it was because I was supporting people doing the same work. Does that make sense to you? Mm-hmm. And so I started teaching at Amway conventions. And guess what? The book went to bestseller list. And then Oprah found it, then Trump found it, and it was because I was just supporting people in the same kind of mindset, should I say. But it goes back to, if you can sell, you're better off if you can't sell. And the most important thing, and he teaches his kids, and today I'm 76 this year, and I meet young people come up to me and says, my dad gave me your book, my grandfather gave me your book, and you know what? That's better than all the money in the world. It's worth more than all the money in the world. So I mean, he's a great guy. I mean, I know he says things he shouldn't say, but his sons and I became even better friends, Don Jr. and Eric. And you can tell the people from their children, if you know what I mean. So when I meet people with screwed up children, it means there was something screwed up in the marriage, probably. But Donald Trump, I was supposed to write the third book with him, and so I forgot, 2015 or something. I says, no, I'm going to run for president. And like I said, my poor dad ran for lieutenant governor for the same reason. And it's all to educate, you know what I mean? The same thing you and I do, we educate. Oprah did the same thing. I don't think Oprah would support Donald Trump, but anyway, we do it because our heart says to do it. And we're good at doing it. I grew up in a family of PhDs. So they're highly educated poor people. PhD stands for poor, helpless, and desperate. And that's why I talk about my father running for lieutenant governor, and he lost. He ran against the governor. The governor fired him and said, you'll never work in this state again. So I'm in college at the time, at the academy, and my poor dad is now broke. PhD didn't help him. And so I'll ask everybody this question again, what did school teach you about money? Answer is nothing. That's not a mistake, Vlad. It's part of the Communist Manifesto. And that's why I said earlier, if you read Marx's book, the Communist Manifesto, it's only 50 pages. You'll find out, though, the first things that there was, and this is 1848, Marx says, communism would invade America in 2 stages. Stage 1 happened in 1930, it's my opinion, because he was already dead by 1930. It's happened when Columbia University's Teachers College invited in Marxist teachers from Germany. And then I believe, it's my opinion, and I'll take the heat for this. It happened in 2020 when my friend Donald Trump loses re-election to this guy, where in the world is Joe Biden. I think Biden's one of the biggest criminals we've ever had, the Biden crime family. And I don't say I'm not talking about what he says, what is he doing? And that's why I said to you, is my background is oil. I have a tanker's officer's degree from Kings Point. I understand oil. So 2020, the moment he got elected, the first thing Biden did was cut down the Keystone XL pipeline, which sent oil price. I was selling oil. I sell oil. I mean, I own oil wells. It's a good investment. So I was selling oil in 2020 at $30 a barrel. It went to $130 a barrel within a week. And immediately I knew what he was doing. He was crushing the middle class. They need to wipe out the middle class, Vlad. And that's what Marx said also. So when the middle class is toast, all you have is two classes of people, rich and poor. And our civilizations run on oil. Could you imagine if you didn't have electricity or this and all that? Energy is what drives our civilization. And the first thing that son of a bitch Biden did was cut off our oil. And then guess what? He cuts us out of Afghanistan. And when that happened, Saudi Arabia, just look at the facts, not what the guy is saying. When Afghanistan, he pulled us out of Afghanistan, so many people got wiped out. We left $9 billion there or something. And immediately Saudi Arabia, guess who they joined? They joined Russia. So now our price of oil going is up. And then Biden tries to buy oil from Venezuela. Watch what he does, not what he says. So, but oil is through the roof because he's a Green New Deal guy. It's killing our middle class flat. Inflation is going through the roof, and it's going to kill people. I don't know how people survive today. I was at Safeway the other night, and I was going, holy mackerel. I mean, I have sticker shock, and I have a lot of money. You know what I mean? So just watch what Biden does, not what he says. That's what I'm upset about. When I was 10 years old, my rich dad played Monopoly with me. And we all know the formula, 4 greenhouses, 1031 tax-deferred exchange. So today I own about 12,000 rental units, but that's not the story. The real story is, how did I acquire those property? I used debt. And that's what they don't teach you in school. You see, the more debt I use, the more property I own, the less tax I pay. And if you think paying taxes is illegal, tax is a Marxist idea. Please, I hate this. And people say, well, you should pay taxes. No, we shouldn't. What Marx says is that a progressive and oppressive income tax is essential for the spread of Marxism, communism. That was in 1848. America was founded, let's look at the facts. This is what pisses me off about academic types. The facts are America was founded as a tax-free nation. It was called the Boston Tea Party. I think it was 1773. And we were tax-free for all of these years until 1913, when the Fed was created. In 1913, the Fed was created. The same year, guess what else was created? The IRS, Amendment 16. And ever since then, we're paying taxes. So guys like me pay no taxes legally, but the more harder you work, the more money you make, the higher taxes you pay. If that's not communism, what is? And I think it's an American duty not to pay our taxes, because if you read the Communist Manifesto, you'd understand why. But I tell you what, again, I measure in my wealth. If I stop working, how much money comes in? I've stopped working a long time ago.
Yeah.
And money keeps increasing. And the reason I talk about debt is because in 1971, when I was in Vietnam, Nixon took the dollar off the gold standard.
Right.
They don't tell you that, and the money became debt. And so then these communist school teachers tell you to get out of debt, like what's his name, Dave Ramsey and all that, live debt free. And that's good advice for the average person, because debt will kill you. But debt is money today. And so when I acquire an asset, I use debt. So what happens is I make money in let's say my business, book sales. At that point, let's say I make $1 million in books. What I have to borrow is like $10 million in debt to buy a property. And because I borrowed the $10 million, I buy a property. And let's say the property is I buy $10 million, it's now $100 million. And all this stuff is the magic called financing. I pay no taxes. Mm-hmm. So the more debt I have and the more property I buy, the less tax I pay. It's called appreciation, depreciation, amortization. If you studied accounting, that's what you would learn. But most of these academic types live debt-free, and they own a house they call an asset, and they drive their Lexus or their Toyota, and they wonder, what's wrong with me? But they never studied money in school.
Small ebook, big impact, the wealth tree. The only 4 ways that will make you financially free forever. Download it here for free.